Friends, welcome once again to VK Jan Sarki classes. In this particular class, I will be discussing about fire and life safety in different type of buildings as defined by National Building Code. For this particular series on fire safety in different type of buildings, I have referred my own book on known as Fire Safety in Building. This is the first Indian book on fire safety dealing with all aspects of fire engineering. This particular slide shows various type of firefighting appliances used in firefighting systems. You can see different type of appliances here in this list. Friends, engineer and architects and consultants. This is first and foremost warning from me is that firefighting system of any building has to be designed as per National Building Code of India 2016, which is getting converted into 2025 version also. First, you have to follow the local building bylaws, which inter alia recommends uh, always National Building Code, maybe any part of India. As per Delhi building bylaws, it is the designer which is supposed to be submit following to Delhi Fire Service. Let me tell you that most of the drawings submitted to authority having jurisdiction are rejected mostly due to fire fighting designs applied for that particular building. Building plans for multi-story special buildings. For multi-story building which are more than 15 meter in height and for special buildings like assembly, institutional, industrial, storage and hazardous occupancy, the following additional information has to be submitted initially. 1. Access to fire appliances, vehicles with details of vehicular turning circle and clear motorable access way around the building. 2. Size, the width of man and alternate staircase along with balcony approach, corridor, ventilated lobby approach. Third, location and detail of lift enclosures. Fourth, location and size of fire lift. Fifth, smoke stop lobby door wherever necessarily to be provided. In the previous slide, I have discussed all those features which are to be provided by the building drawings being submitted by the architect to for building permit initially. Sixth, I have already described 5 items. The sixth item is refuge tubes, refuge chamber, service duct and etc. are to be shown. Seventh, vehicular parking space. Eighth, refuge area if any. The refuge area becomes necessary only after 5-story buildings. That means beyond 15 meters. Ninth, detail of building services including air conditioning system with position of dampers, mechanical ventilation system, electrical services, boiler, gas pipe etc. 10th, details of exits including provision of ramps, etc. for hospital and special risk buildings. 11th, generation location of generator, transformer and switchgear room. 12th, smoke exhaust system if any provided. 13th, detail of fire alarm system network. 14th, location of centralized control connecting all fire alarm system, built-in fire protection arrangement and public address systems. 15th, location and dimension of static water storage tank, normally called storage tank, and pump room. 16th item, location and details of fixed fire protection system such as sprinklers, wet risers, hose reels, trenchers, CO2 installation, etc. Continued. Dear friends, consultants and architects, this is most important part of this series of lecture, that is known as classification of building based on occupancy type. The National Building Code 2016 provides 9 different type of buildings. They are known as Group A or B or C, like that. All buildings, whether existing or hereafter erected, shall be classified according to use or the character of occupancy in one of the following groups. It is once the area why town planner has been assigned as one particular, it cannot be easily changed to other type. That is the relevance of grouping. Group A is residential buildings. Group B is educational buildings. Group C is institutional buildings. Institutional buildings are those where the persons occupying are summoned to get into due to some or the other orders, maybe from uh, legal court, maybe from a doctor or any some other body. Group D is assembly type. Assembly type of buildings are those where people assemble, large number of people assemble for a short time. E type, group E, business type. Business type of buildings are those buildings where transaction in mass scale happening by check, payment by check. Whereas group F, mercantile buildings are those buildings where the mass transactions are happening by payment, not by check, but in cash, by coins, notes, etc. Group G buildings are classified as industrial building, and group H buildings are storage buildings. Storage buildings are those buildings where items are stored for some time, some temporary time, maybe for a week, maybe for a month or more. The storage buildings are mostly used by industry people or individuals. Group J buildings are known as hazardous buildings, where hazardous type of items are stored. This hazard, they may cause any type of hazard, maybe fire hazard, maybe nuclear hazard, or it may be biological hazards. Group A residential buildings. Dear friends, uh, the residential buildings are existing anywhere, any type of occupancies. They are classified in four subdivisions. A1, known as lodging and rooming houses and dormitories. Dormitories may be in the form of dharamsala. A2, one or two family private dwellings, which are known as for individual use. A3 are known as the buildings in subdivision A3 are known as apartment houses, and the subdivision 4 is known as hotels. In hotels, people are residing for very short time. Subdivision A3 apartment houses. If we count by number, these occupy the largest subgroup. These shall include any building or structure in which living quarters are provided for three or more families living independently of each other or with independent cooking facilities. For example, apartment houses, mansions, and chals. The subdivision 4 A4 includes hotels. This shall include any building or group of building under single management in which sleeping accommodation with or without dining facility for hotels classified under all hotel including starred hotel. Now we are defining group B educational institution type of buildings. The group B includes any building used for school, college or other training institutions for daycare purposes involving assembly or instruction, education or recreation for not less than 20 students. Group B is subclassified as B1 schools up to senior secondary level, B2 all others training institutions. The V1 group includes schools up to senior secondary level. This subdivision shall include any building or group of building under single management which is used for students not less than 20 in number. Subdivision B2 includes all other educational buildings. This subdivision includes any building or group of building under single management for student not less than in 100. Now we come to the group of building known as institutional buildings. Institutional buildings shall include any building or part thereof which is used for purposes such as medical or other treatment or care of persons suffering from physical or mental illness, diseases or infirmity, care of infants, convalescent or aged person, or for penal or correctional detention in which liberty of the inmate is restricted. Institutional buildings ordinarily provide sleeping accommodation for the occupants. Building and structure under Group C shall be further subdivided as follows. Subdivision 1 C1 Hospital and Sanatoria. Subdivision C2 Custodial institutions. C3 penal, penal and mental institutions. Dear friends, in the previous slide we have discussed about the buildings known as institutional building, out of which the subdivision C1 is known as hospital and sanatoria. This subdivision shall include any building or group of building under single management which is used for housing persons suffering from physical limitations because of health or age and those incapable of self-preservation. For example, hospitals, infirmaries, sanatoria and nursing home. In the group C2 includes custodial institutions. This subdivision shall include any building or a group of building under single management which is used by custody and care of persons such as children, convalescents, and the aged persons who are incapable of self-preservation. For example, homes for the aged and infirm, uh, convalescent homes, and orphanage. Both these two type buildings as a group are known as healthcare buildings. In this slide, the subdivision C3, penal and mental institutions. This subdivision shall include any building or a group of building under single management which is used for housing persons under restraints or who are detained for penal or corrective purposes in which the liberty of inmate is restricted. For example, jails, prisons, mental hospitals, mental sanatoria and reformatories, Nari Niketan like. Friends, now we come to Group D assembly buildings. Assembly buildings shall include any building or part of a building where number of persons not less than 50 congregate or gather for amusement, recreation, social, religious, patriotic, civil, travel and similar purposes. For example, theaters, motion picture houses, assembly halls, auditoria, exhibition halls, museums, skating rinks, gymnasium, restaurants, places of worship, maybe mandir, masjid, gurudwara, dance halls, club rooms, passenger stations, and terminal of air, surface or marine public transportation services, and stadia. Building under D shall be further classified as follows. There are four different type of buildings. We'll discuss in the next slide. Remember only one thing, that assembly buildings are occupied by more than 50 persons. Assembly buildings are further classified in four different categories. The first one is D1, building having a theatrical or motion picture or any other stage and fixed seat for over than 1,000 persons. It's a very large type of systems. D2, buildings having a theatrical or motion picture or any other stage and fixed seats up to 1,000 persons. D3, buildings without a permanent stage having accommodation for 300 or more persons but no permanent seating arrangement. Dance halls, nightclubs, incidental picture shows, dramatic, theatrical or educational presentation, lecture, etc. The type D4 buildings without a permanent stage, having accommodation less than 300% with no permanent seating arrangement. The further classification of assembly building is type D5, type D6 and type D7. The type D5 assembly building includes other structure including temporary structure designed for assembly of people not covered by subdivision D1 or 2 D4 at ground level like a grandstand, stadia, amusement park structures, reviewing stands and circus tents, arenas, external swimming pools, tennis and similar type of courts. The sixth type of assembly building is having mixed occupancy such as shopping malls, providing facilities such as shopping, cinema, theater, multiplexes and restaurants, food courts, and having other occupancies such as offices, retail, residential, mercantile, etc. in one building. Type 7 is classified underground and elevated mass rapid transition systems, underground or elevated railways. Friends, the assembly buildings are various types in at least 7 different groups as per National Building Code 2016. Friends, now we are discussing Group E, business buildings. This shall include any building or part thereof which is used for transaction of business, for keeping accounts and records and similar purposes, professional establishments, service facilities, etc. City halls, town halls, courthouses and library shall be are included and classified in this group so far as the principal function of these is transaction of public business and keeping of book and records. The group E buildings are further classified in 5 different types. The first one is offices, banks, professional establishments like office of architects, engineers, doctors, lawyers, post offices and police stations. E2 subdivision of business building is known as laboratories, outpatient clinic, research establishments, libraries and test houses. The third subgroup E3 of business building includes electronic data processing centers, computer installations, information technology parks and call centers. The fourth category of business building is telephone exchange. And fifth one is broadcasting stations, TV stations, and air traffic control towers. Friends, the next group of building is known as mercantile building. The word mercantile comes from merchant, that means Vyaparis in Hindi. This shall include any type building or part thereof which is used as shops, stores, market for display and sale of merchandise, either wholesale or in retail. Mercantile building shall be further subclassified as subdivision F1, shops, stores, departmental stores, markets up to covered area 500 square meter. The subdivision 5(2) of mercantile building includes shops, stores and departmental stores, markets having covered area more than 500 square meter. The third classification of mercantile building is underground shopping centers, storage and services facility incidental to sale of merchandise located in same building shall be included under this group. Friends, in this slide we are discussing group G, industrial buildings. Industrial building include any building or part of a building or a structure in which products or materials of all kinds and properties are fabricated, assembled, manufactured or processed. For example, assembly plants, something like car assembly, industrial laboratories, dry cleaning plants, power plants, generating units, pumping stations, fumigation chambers, laundries, buildings are structured in gas plants, refineries, dairies and sawmills, etc. Building under group G shall be further subdivided as follows: 1 to G1, G2, G3. G1 is low hazard, G2 is moderate hazard, and G3 is industrial building having high hazard. The hazard has been based on calorific value as well as life loss. In both type of hazards have been included. Friends, now we are going to discuss about group H, storage buildings. The characteristic feature of any storage building is its floor height. Floor height of all the building hitherto discussed is limited except in case of assemblies. In this particular case, storage buildings may be 30 meter or even up to 60 meters, and you need a special type of lift for approaching the things stored in such buildings. Now, storage buildings are defined as any building or part of building used primarily for storage or sheltering. That sheltering means servicing, processing, or repair incidental to storage of goods, where or merchandises except those that involve highly combustible or explosive product that will go in hazardous building. Vehicles or animal, for example, warehouses, cold storages, freight depots, transit sites, storehouses, truck and marine terminals, garages, hangars, grain elevators known as food silos, barns and stables. Storage properties are characterized by the presence of relatively small number of persons in proportion to the area. For example, hangars used for assembly purposes, warehouses used for office purposes, garages used for manufacturing. Also, floor height are big. It may be up to 6 to 12 normally, or abnormally it can go up to 60 meters. Friends, group J is known as hazardous building. Uh, Hazardous building or dangerous buildings. These shall include any building or part thereof which is used for storage, handling, manufacturing or processing of highly combustible explosive material or products which are liable to burn with extreme rapidity and or which may produce poisonous fumes or explosions for storage, handling, manufacturing and processing, which involves highly corrosive, toxic or non-toxic alkalis, acids and other liquids or chemicals producing flame, fumes and explosive, poisonous, irritant and corrosive gases, and for storage, handling and processing of any material producing explosive mixture of dust which may result in division of matter into fine particles, that means nuclear, to spontaneous ignitions. Examples of hazardous building may be A. Storage under pressure of more than 0.1 neutron per square millimeter and in quantities exceeding 70 meter cubic meter, or of acetylene, hydrogen, illuminating and natural gases, ammonia, chlorine, phosgene, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, methyl oxides, and all gases subject to explosion, fume or toxic hazard, cryogenic gases, etc. The group B includes storage and handling of hazardous and highly flammable liquids, liquefied gases like LPG, rocket propellants, etc. The type C includes storage and handling of hazardous and highly flammable or explosive material other than liquid. Next is subtype D, manufacture of artificial flowers, synthetic leather, etc. Friends, apart from all those 9 types, uh, there is one more which is known as mixed occupancy. In this particular case of occupancy, the different portions are classified according to 9 different types already learned, and their provision will get applied automatically in mixed occupancy case also. However, in case such as occupancies are separated horizontally and or vertically, as the case may be, by a 4-hour fire resistance rating, all occupancies shall be treated as individual occupancies, and all provision relevant to respective occupancy given in the code shall apply here also. Dear friends, engineers, consultants and architects, the table 4 of part 4 of National Building Code on fire and life safety provides the most essential fixed type firefighting protection required in several different type of building types as already discussed. This table provides in column 1 and 2 the name of type of occupancy. The column 3 provides extinguisher, requirement of extinguisher. Table column 4 provides hose reel, requirement of hose reel. Column 5 provides the requirement of dry riser or column 6 wet riser system, and column 7 downcomer type riser systems. Column 8 provides yard hydrant, 9 provides automatic sprinkler system whether it is necessary or not. Column 10 dictates about manually operated electric fire alarm system, whereas column 11 provides the detail of automatic detection and fire alarm system if it is needed. The column 12 provides the capacity of underground static water tank if needed. Column 13 provides the detail of terrace tank if needed. Column 14 provides the type of fire pump with pressure at terrace level, and column 15 provides the terrace tank level minimum pressure of 2 kg per square centimeter. These fixed firefighting systems are essentially needed and must be provided, and the chart which will come next to this slide dictates the amount of this facility. Friends, this is the most essential table in fire and life safety systems, and it provides minimum requirement for firefighting installations in different type of buildings. The column 2 provides the type of building occupancy, and in this particular column you will find detail of different type of occupancies. Next is whether fire extinguisher needed or not. If it is needed, the table says or if it is not required, it says NR. You will find further three different type of riser systems. Dry riser, you can see note 6 at the end of this series of tables. Wet riser and downcomer. Next is yard hydrant, whether it is required or not. Further to this is automatic sprinkler system, whether water sprinkler system is to be provided. And the next two columns provide whether manually operated electric fire alarm system will suffice, or in addition automatic detection and fire alarm system is also needed. The next two gives you the capacity of underground and terrace tanks, and you can see the note number 3, 4 like this, and they are clarified in the last table of this series. Similarly, if pump is required, their capacity are given here along with the terrace tank if needed. You can go and see different type of detail out of these series of tables, and at the end you can find whatever is missing in this table, that clarification, see note number 2, note number 3, those details are given in the last table of this series. Friends, I will discuss the type 4 international institutional buildings. It provides A1 hospitals, sanatoria, etc. And in this subcategory A, they have, according to height of the building, less than 15 meter or up to less than 15 meters. Subcategories are up to ground floor, plus 1 story, ground floor this, and all provisions which are to be made are clarified in each row. Friends, this particular end of the table dictates the notes as they are given in various tables previously described. And these notes are generally for whether a system is required or not. You can see different notes clarify the type of provision to be made in a particular type of building. Friends, this particular table shows the size of rising man risers required in case in different cases of buildings. Thank you at the end of this for listening me carefully